Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with a tier list video, and today I'll be making a tier list of all the wholesome and pure-hearted characters. I did this in a community post. Asked you guys for your nominations, and yeah, these are the characters you nominated. Few things I've included, few characters I've included myself. Now before we begin, I have to say, I kind of thought about it, and I've realized that it's a little bit difficult to make a tier list like this, which I didn't realize when making the post, because it's easy to rank villain characters, bad characters, but I realized little by little that it's very difficult to actually rate wholesome characters. Like how do you rate that? Like I'm actually thinking about it now, that how do you rate goodness or wholesomeness? Good is good. Like there's no very good or less good. Like if you do a good thing, it's a good thing. And pure-hearted characters, it's really difficult to, I feel like, put them in tier lists. Like I actually realize now, but obviously I've made the community post, nothing I can do about it. So basically what this tier list will be is just, I've made the whole tier list. You can see this, like I made 5 things. I'll talk about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in different tiers, and it'll basically be, by the end of it, it'll basically be like my own preference, that kind of thing, which character I prefer more, and who I kind of am more fond of. That'll basically be it. So like I said, I realized little by little that it's really difficult and it's kind of impossible to rate good people. Like how do you rate goodness? I can't see any way. But anyways, so yeah, that will basically be this tier list. It'll be my, which characters I'm more fond of, and that will basically be this. So yeah, okay. Before we begin, I'll talk about the characters I included. I included like 3 or 4 characters, I think. I already made an example, Taiga Fujimura, who I obviously included. Then 2 or 3 others I think I included. Nagisa from Clanad. Oh no, more of that. I included 4 or 5 of them. Nagisa from Clanad, Ushio from Clanad, I included. Fuko from Clanad. I realized Clanad has a lot of wholesome characters. Fuko from Clanad. And Mayuri from Steins Gate, I also included her. So these are the few characters. Oh, another character from the game Honkai Impact, Alicia. I don't know guys if you guys will know. But yeah, these are the characters I've included. However, the tiers, I'll talk about the tiers because this is a weird tier list. And the first one is too much wholesomeness, obviously. Next one is very wholesome. The third one is wholesome kids, because I feel like it's really unfair to actually, put kids in this one as well, because kids are very pure, very wholehearted. All the kids will win automatically. So this is like a particular tier list for them. Like I'm not going to include the kids within the adults because it's extremely unfair. Like all kids are very, all anime kids that I've seen are very wholesome. There are once or twice there are those little bratty kids, but most of them are just too pure. So including them will be too much unfair for all the other characters. So yeah, there you go. That category tier is just for them. While the next one is don't remember. Now here's another thing I realized. There's so many shows here that I've watched a long time ago, and I don't remember anything about them. For example, Ishukan Friends, I've watched it, but I don't remember anything. Nothing at all I remember. It's been, I think, I don't even know when it came out. When it came out, I probably watched it then. Like I was barely starting anime then. I watched Ishukan Friends. Like it's been almost like 9 or 8 years, and I don't remember nothing about it. So I've watched it, so I cannot put it in the haven't watched category, but I don't remember. So I'll put all these characters over there. Maybe you guys can let me know and jog my memories a little bit about these characters, because I barely remember a few of the characters. I don't remember anything about them. Then the final tier is haven't watched. A few shows there is here which I've not watched. I'll include those characters over there. Now a few characters I've excluded from the tier list. Two characters. One is Emilia, because and other one is Deku. I feel like they are really good characters. They're really nice, kind characters, but I don't know. I feel like the vision that I have of this tier list, they're not really actually, I cannot put them in that. Like they're kind characters, they're good characters, but I don't think I can put them here. Like I don't know. Like I said, this is going to be a weird tier list. Like I myself don't know what the hell I'm expecting. But a few characters that I can give, like I'll talk about them. A few characters which I have the, like, which I'll probably put them in the top tier. They will be like the vision I had of this tier list. But it's really difficult to judge characters in that manner because there's some very, like, handpicked few of them who are kind of like that. You'll see the top tier list will be like my vision of this tier list, what I expected from this tier list. But it's kind of difficult. Like I said, there's so many things in like, in people's, personality and stuff, that it's really difficult to judge goodness. So okay, let's begin. Like I said, this will be a weird tier list, so yeah. uh, all right, so the first one, okay, here we go. Like I said, this one is a character from Ishukan Friends, as far as I can remember, but I don't remember much about the show. Like I said, I watched Ishukan Friends when I just started anime, and I've started anime a long time ago, so I don't remember anything. I do remember the basic premise of the show. I remember the show being, I think the girl had amnesia. She forgot everything after 1 week. That's why Ishukan Friends, or 1 week friends. And as far as I can remember, this guy, I think he liked her and wanted to talk to her, and then realized that, oh, this girl doesn't remember anything after 1 week. She forgets. And he still decided to keep hanging out with her, and like, kind of interact with her. And people, as far as I can remember, like, people didn't, like, she didn't have much friends because of this whole thing, which she would forget 1 week later. But he's the one who kind of stuck with her, something like that, as far as I can remember. But I barely remember anything about the characters, so I'll put him in the don't remember, because I don't want to judge a character by having hazy memories of that person. Like, I cannot do that. Like, how will I judge that character? I don't remember much about him or her. She's also going to come, she's also here. So there you go. So don't remember, yeah. Unfortunate. All right, the next one is Chitanda from Hyoka. Oh boy. Now, this is another show that I've watched a long time ago, but I remember. Like, Chitanda has such a personality that I never forgot about her. Chitanda, yeah, she's very wholesome. I wouldn't put her in too much wholesomeness. She, like I said again, it's my preference basically. I cannot judge goodness in people. Like, I realize that goodness cannot be judged or ranked. So I'm going to put her in very wholesome, because yeah, like, I have a few other characters who I really love, and those will be in the top tier. So very wholesome. So there you go. Now, Chitanda, like, let's talk about Chitanda. Like I said, I've been watching anime for a long time. However, this is also another show that I've watched a long time ago. However, I remember a lot of things about Hyoka because the show was so impressionable, and it was really good. It had really fluid and amazing animation from when it came out. I remember watching it, and I was like, my god, this animation is crazy. Like, obviously this type of animation is common nowadays, but that in those days, it's this type of animation, it was crazy. And it was such a bright show, and I loved the characters so much. Chitanda was one of my favorites. Obviously, the main guy was also very, I have to, as far as I can remember, he was an interesting character. He kept him, he was like a quite stoic type of character, and he was he kind of was very intelligent, and he, like, did like small little, like, deductions and detective job, I feel like, as far as I can remember. And Chitanda was that girl who was always like, her catchphrase, kini narimasu. I'm very curious. Oh boy, I'll never forget that. So yeah, I remember Chitanda very much. Even though I've watched this show a long time ago, she made that much of impression on me. And I remember her being extremely wholesome. She was curious about everything, just like a little kid. And and was always, like, used to ask the guy, like, I'm curious. So yeah, it was a short anime. I don't even know what happened. Like, in the end, it kind of ended, like, and that was that. I don't even know if this is like the source material is a manga or a light novel, and I don't remember whether it ended or not. So there's so many questions I had by the end of it. I was curious, like, how their relationship is going to progress and all that, because obviously, as far as I can remember, the guy did like Chitanda a lot. However, Chitanda was this clueless clueless person. She was always curious about everything, but in these type of situations, she didn't have much things. So yeah, I was kind of curious, but then obviously the anime ended, and yeah, that was it. So yeah, it was a great show. I loved it. and the Chitanda very wholesome over here. Okay, again, the next character is from issue conference. The main heroine, or the girl, I don't even remember her name. I'm going to put her over here because, like I said, I don't remember. These two characters from the same show, I remember nothing about the show at all. So yeah, there you go. All right, the next character, Menma. Yes. All right, Menma is a character who, where am I going to put her? Like I'm just like, the characters that I like more, I'll be putting them more on the left side. The other characters will be in the more rightmost side. So I'm thinking where to put her, here or here. I'll put her over here because yeah, I love Chitanda very much. Chitanda is really good. Okay, Menma. So, oh god, Anohana, another show I watched a long time ago, but I don't think anyone who has watched Anohana has forgotten it. It is such an impressionable show, and my god, it was emotional. Like Anohana being one of the shows that, like, everyone would compare with Glenad, due to the sadness. Yolai in April, and so many other, like, really sad shows, like they would compare Anohana with. And Anohana is there, like top tier. And I remember Menma obviously, I'm pretty sure there's no spoilers at this point, like it was already told. She's the ghost, and she was like the group of friends they had, and the whole, what can I say, them having like a little, not fight, but a quarrel amongst each other, and they kind of broke apart. But then obviously after Menma died, she came back as a ghost, and she kind of put them back together again. And it was really emotional by the end. The final episode of them playing hide and seek. And yeah, Menma was a very wholesome character. And she she like, this is the thing, like she's so wholesome that she actually even after her death, she was able to bring back the friends that were once very good friends. They went apart, but then she brought them back again. And yeah, like, what else, like, that's basically the type of character Menma is. And obviously being that much of a, like, it was like, I think 12 episodes or 11. Like the show did such a good job of making us emotionally attached to, like, it's difficult, it's difficult to actually make characters you get emotionally attached to within like 11 or something episode. It was 11 episodes, wasn't it? I think so. I don't remember. Anyways, so yeah, it's difficult to do that. So the show being able to accomplish that, and like, this is another thing about Anohana, I feel like there's so many characters, like not many characters, but a lot of characters there are, and most of the time they kind of focused on them. So, like, us getting attached to Menma was even a more difficult, I have to say, like, feat that the authors and they had to actually accomplish by the end of it, because in the end that was that emotional section. So unless and until we could get to attach to Menma, we won't feel any kind of emotion by the end of it. Like, that's the thing. So they were even able to accomplish that, like even within all the other characters, their character development, their like their situation and everything, us getting to know about the things, what happened, they were able to make us attached to Menma within that few episodes. And in the end, I'm pretty sure everyone who's watched this episode definitely shed tears. And yeah, so there you go. It's over there. Very wholesome. Okay, the next character, Mina from Takagi-san. Oh boy, she's she's funny. She's really, like, like wholesome. She's kind of clueless half of the time, a little bit of an airhead, and yeah, perfect for this tier list, I think. I'll put her here, and yeah, like, yeah, what else could I say? Like, nothing much, because she's one of the side characters. We barely get to see much of her, but even with the little screen time she has, she's like a ray of sunshine. So yeah, very wholesome. Okay, Ushio. No, okay, here we go. She is obviously a kid, so I'm going to put her here. Like I said, it's kind of unfair to come, like, put these characters, the kids with the other characters, because yeah, it's they'll automatically win. Like, it's impossible. I would say Menma's also a kid, but she's a ghost, so I don't think she's a kid. But yeah, Ushio. Ushio is from Granad, and she's someone I included. I remember, oh boy, Granad is another show. My god, all these shows just. Like first Anohana, now Clannad. Like, oh boy, like Clannad is a show that I just love so much because not only have I watched the anime, I've played the visual novel as well, and the visual novel does such a great job of actually explaining a lot of other things, and like a lot of things it explains. And I have to say, like, because it was a visual novel, the anime adaptation uh kind of fumbled a little bit during that whole route thing. Like, we had to go through the different route. Like, this is how it went in the visual novel. You had to go through the different routes to collect those orbs, and in the end, obviously, the whole Nagisa situation. That's how it went. So how the hell are they going to adapt that into an anime? Like, that's why they, like, the first season was like that. I remember a lot of people not liking the first season because of how, like, like, scattered it was. But I love the first season because I know the situation. Like, that's how it went in the visual novel. Like, so they had to do the first season like that to show all the other girls. Like, obviously, in the visual novel, it branched off to a different route, and in the end, the ending was for that different, like, for that girl or for that person. Because that's how visual novel goes. You get different endings. However, in the anime, they cannot do something like that. It's difficult to do it like that. So that's why they did it like that. And then in the second season, we focus on Nagisa completely. So yeah, so even though all of that, the adaptation is a perfect job to adapting everything. I've seen a lot of other visual novel translations. They are atrocious. Visual novel translations into anime are horrendous. Like, like, that's one of the things that I fear. Really good visual novel gets butchered by the anime, like, completely. So Clannad, a few exceptions are Clannad, Steins Gate. Like, they did an amazing job of adapting it so perfectly. So Clannad was, like, that's why I have such a huge emotional connection to Clannad, because I've read the novel, I've watched the anime, I've done everything about for it. So yeah, it's a show that, oh boy, it breaks people. And Ushio being one of the, like, cutest characters, one of the most wholesome characters there. Obviously, she is Nagisa and Tomoya's kid, and yeah, like, there you go. Therefore, she's in the wholesome kids category. Now, like I said, obviously this is a separate tier for the kids because it is unfair to put them on the other, compete them with the others. Now, all right, there you go. So wholesome kids, like, Ushio's there. Now, the next one is, okay, I don't know this girl's name. I think she's from Orbital Children. I've not watched Orbital Children, so I'll put her here. So there you go. Okay, now, Momo. Oh boy, she is a bundle of joy. Okay, I'm going to put her here. Like, I love Ushio, but my god, Momo is too cute. From Sangatsu no Lion, one of the best animes that has ever been created. March Comes In Like a Lion. It's in my top three. March Comes In Like a Lion is in my top three animes, and yeah, like, I don't know why we're not getting another season. Is the manga really that like, has the anime really catched up that much to the manga? It's been so freaking long. I don't understand why. Like, I wanted to read the manga, but I kept myself from reading the manga because I wanted to watch the anime. Because Shaft and everything, like, does such a great job of adapting the show in itself. Like, it was a masterpiece. So I'm still waiting for this show to come back, and I don't know when it's going to. But anyways, I'll keep my hopes up. But yeah, Momo is one of the kids, not one of, but the only kid in the show, I think. Yeah, yeah, she's the only kid. So yeah, Momo is a bundle of joy. She is just too precious. Oh boy, like, what else? What else can I say? Nothing else to say. Like, like, you need to watch the show to understand. And yeah, like, I could have included the other two sisters as well, but then I realized, like, I guess they are wholesome, definitely wholesome, but, like, like I said, the vision I have for this tier list, they kind of don't fall in that category. I myself don't know what I want of this tier list, but there is a vision I have. I'll talk about it later. So, like, including them, I could have included the other two sisters, but then I decided not to. But yeah, like, all the three sisters are extremely wholesome. They're, like, the best, and I wouldn't put what is the what's her name? The middle sister. Hinata, was that her name? I forgot. Akari is the older sister's name. The little sister is Momo. Was it Hinata? I don't remember. Oh boy, I forgot. Anyways, but the middle sister, I wouldn't call her wholesome, but she's a very strong character, a very strong individual. Like if you watch the show, you'll know. Like in the second season, especially. While Akari is a very kind, like like older sister character, she's definitely very wholesome. But either way, like I've not included them. Nothing good. Like I can. I feel like Akari could have been in this. Like I could have put Akari here, but yeah, but anyways, enough about them. But yeah, Sangatsu no Lion, it's a really it's one of the best shows, and Momo being one of the most wholesome characters over there. And yeah, like I really hope the show comes back. I don't know when it's going to. Okay, all right, Fujimura Taiga, obviously too much wholesomeness. She is the example that I used in my community post, and this is the type of character that I wanted, like Fujimura Taiga. Like if you've watched Fate, you'll probably understand what I'm trying to say. So like I said, it's kind of difficult to actually find these type of characters. There's a very few hand-picked characters who are like this, like Fujimura Taiga. So yeah, so Fujimura Taiga, obviously, our beloved Taiga Sensei, and she is like she's extremely wholehearted, like she's extremely pure-hearted. So it's fair. Now there's another a funny thing I didn't know. I was reading the wiki, and I think someone told me in this comments as well. Like even the author of I think Gen Urobuchi, yeah, the one who did Madoka Magica and Fate Zero, I think he said something like, I did not want to include Taiga in Fate Zero because I did not want to put my dirty hands on a character that wholesome. And I was like, my god, like yeah, basically that's Taiga. Taiga is too pure, and her being in the Fate franchise in itself is a huge, what can I say, huge concern, because stuff happens in Fate, and like I'm so glad that nothing happened to her by the end of it in any of those routes. Like I'm pretty sure like a lot of fans would have been pissed if something happened to her. So yeah, she's too pure for this world, and I would love if, I don't know, I don't think they've talked much about Taiga. Like there's barely any information about her. All we know is that she knew Kiritsugu, and she kind of came to like kind of babysit Shiro as far as I can remember. Yeah, and then obviously after Kiritsugu's death, she stayed in and became like Shiro's guardian, and obviously she's the English teacher, I think, yeah, in the school, and that's all we have about her. Like I would love if like they kind of go more into Tiger in the future, or like like get some kind of a, like like I don't know, like some kind of spin-off or something. Like Fate has so many spin-offs, like why not about her? So yeah, like, so there you go. Like Taiga is yeah, it's too good. She's definitely in the top tier, and yeah, she is the type of character I kind of saw, and I was like, oh, why not make a tier list like this? Like that's basically what happened. Like she's the prime example of this tier, and I'm going to put her on the top. That is the reason why. So there you go. All right, the next character is this girl from Amamato Inazuma, and again she's a kid, so obviously I'm going to put her in the wholesome kids category. I don't remember her name though, I forgot her name. So yeah, another very cute character. And now another thing, I would have probably put her here in don't remember, because I do remember about the show, but I don't remember much about it. And I remember, oh god, I remember there being, I think a girl who used to come and help out her dad. I think a high school girl, wasn't it? Yeah. And this kid was like his daughter, and they used to kind of like hang out together or something, I remember. uh so yeah, so this obviously she's over here in the wholesome kids category. I can't comment much about her because I cannot remember much anything about the anime. All right, next is Fuko. Oh boy. Oh boy, I'm gonna put her here. Okay, everyone who watched Canada knows Fuko. Yeah, she's wholesome, definitely. She's a little bit kind of a airhead sometimes. That's why obviously Toma used to play a lot of pranks on her. But all in all, she's a very funny character as well. Like my God, she's she's hilarious. And yeah, like I'm glad, like Clannad is a show. I'm quite glad about it. That even though there's so many sad things that happen, by the end of it, everything went became well. Like these are the type of shows I really appreciate. Like I said, I really hate deaths in animes and like sad endings. I don't like them. But obviously, a sad show is going to stimulate your emotions, which makes it so much more impactful. So shows like Lanad, which makes everything so sad and like makes you break down crying, but then in the end makes everything okay, is something that I really love from the bottom of my heart. And Clannad is a prime example of that. So by the end, all the characters they're fine, they're okay, and like in the end, like we get like a happy ending. So obviously Fuko was one of the characters there, and she had a very sad obviously every character had a sad story in Clannad. She had a very sad story, but in the end everything was fine, it was okay. Yeah, I'm happy about it. So there you go. I feel like, oh boy, I could have included another Clannad character here now that I'm thinking about it. What's the name of that girl? Kotori? Yeah, I think that's her name. He's another really wholesome character. Like I could have included her as well. I forgot to. Anyways, so yeah, another Clannad character, Fuko here. There you go. So yeah, now next is Ponyo. All right, Ponyo is a obviously a Studio Ghibli film, and wait, okay, let me put her. Okay, Ponyo is also a kid, so yeah, I can put her here. I was thinking, where am I going to put her? Okay, I'll put her here. Yes. So there you go, Ponyo, and obviously it's a Studio Ghibli film. I watched it not much long ago, and yeah, I love Ghibli movies. It's a very it's a very nice movie. All the Ghibli movies are very nice. Obviously, Ponyo was no exception, and I've seen like Ghibli movies have this unusual charm to it, where the characters feel actually like alive. This is one thing like all animes have. Like all the characters have this over exaggerated way of talking and acting, which is not how normal conversations go. If you go and talk to like a Japanese person, the way they'll talk, their tone and everything, like you listen to it, and then you go to an anime and listen to the way they talk, and you'll be like, my god, like anime is over exaggerate things. However, I've seen this in Ghibli movies that they are so natural. The way they talk and way they act are so natural. It seems as if you're actually like interacting with a human, like an actual human person. Unlike other animes which over exaggerate the whole thing, like Ghibli movies feel so natural and normal, and I feel like it gives like a very a unique experience. That's why Ghibli movies are so good. Obviously the visuals, these soundtracks and everything, the stories in itself are really good. This is a thing that I feel like that makes these Ghibli movies so good. Obviously Ponyo was no exception. It was a really great show. I remember, I kind of remember, yeah, the whole the fish situation and all that. And yeah, like she's obviously she's a kid. I'm gonna put her over here. There you go. Okay, next character, Sakamoto from Sakamoto Desuka. Now I don't know why I included him, like not me, but obviously someone told in the nominations it was. But I'm gonna put it into I don't remember much about the show. That's why, like, all I remember is that he was too cool for the show. That's all I remember. And I barely remember much about his personality. Like that's why I cannot really judge him. So I'm gonna put him in the don't remember category. I remember him. I remember a lot of things about it, but I don't remember what type of a character he was. Like I remember is like him doing some cool stuff, like, so for example, that scene with the bee. He just grabs the bee with a compass or whatever when everyone was freaking out. Then the way he was sitting, like someone took out the chair and he was just sitting like this. And he's just too cool for school. That so yeah, that's all I remember. And that being such a huge impression, I don't even remember if the anime actually went into his character, his personality and all that. I don't remember that. I think they did. They probably did in the final 2 episodes or something. But those other things were so impressionable that I barely remember anything. So I'm going to put him in the don't remember category. I remember about the anime, but I don't remember much about his personality, or that's why I cannot judge him. All right. The next character is this girl from Yuru Camp. Yuru Camp is a show that like is in a weird way. I watched the first season kind of, you know, and I've not watched the other season, and I've forgotten about the first season. That's the situation of Yuru Camp, you know. I do remember them going camping, and there was a few girls. I remember, like, you know, them kind of forming a little group or something. There was another like blue-haired girl. I think, yeah. So that's the situation with Yuru Camp. So I'm gonna put her in the don't remember category because it's a weird situation. I remember about her. I've watched the first season. I've not watched the second season because I've forgotten about the first season. So probably in some time in the future, I'll rewatch the first season and then I'll go to the second season. I think there's a movie as well. Yeah, like that's what I'm probably going to do because I barely remember anything about first season. And put her here. Okay, the next girl, Teresa from, I think that's what's her name, from Tada Kun Doesn't Fall in Love. And okay, again, this show I don't remember that much, even though this was fairly recent. I remember the only thing I remember about her is that she's like a foreign exchange student or something like that, like something like she was a foreigner. But that's it. I don't remember that many things. Like so many animes I watch, I forget. Like I really forget. Like these shows, like, you know, these shows which kind of go under the radar but are really good. I watch them, then I kind of forget because of all the other shows. Like it's really difficult. Like I've watched so many shows that it's actually crazy to remember each and everything. So yeah, I'm going to put her here because I cannot judge her like this. I barely remember anything. All right. Okay, the next character, another character from Honkai Impact, Alicia. Now, here's the thing. This is a character. I don't know how many people have watched Honkai Impact, or I'm going to put her here. Too much wholesomeness. This is a character which was, uh, what can I say? She was a weird one. Like when she was introduced, I feel like everyone suspected her about being one of those manipulative type of characters. Even I did that. But by the end, it was such a, I wouldn't call it a twist, but it was such a wholesome development that we actually realized, like, no, she's actually that much good. Like, you know, there's a thing called being too good, you know, like being too good kind of makes you sometimes suspect the other person, and you're like, wait a minute, like, is this person actually, does someone actually like this exist? She's being too nice. There must be something within her, or him or her, and she must be planning something, some kind of crazy scheme. And that's why this person is being too nice. That was basically her, Alicia from Honkai Impact. I'm pretty sure everyone, when she was introduced, thought something's fishy about her. But by the end of the arc, or the whole thing, we realized, like, nah, she's just that good. There was nothing, like, you know, nothing to suspect about her. And so that's basically Alicia. So I feel like she's too much wholesome. You know, like she's just as we see her. She's as transparent as we see her, and like she's definitely the, like, you know, the what can I say, like the good things in humans that all humans have. She's basically a representation of that. Like obviously humans have good part, bad part. She's that part, that good part, that wholesome part. And that is why she definitely deserves to be in the top position, because there's nothing, no ounce of bad in her, as far as we've seen in the show, in the game, and, like, you know, in itself. There's nothing bad. Like if you're interested, you can check out Honkai Impact. You know, it's a really good, has a really good storyline. Maybe check out the manga. It also has a manga. So yeah, so Alicia is definitely deserving of that position because, like, literally speaking, she's actually too pure. Like literally, there's no bad in her, which was kind of really suspicious in the beginning. So yeah, there you go. Now the next character, I don't know his name. It's from Oran High School Host Club. I've not watched it. A show that I should watch because I've heard so many things about it. But yeah, I've not watched it. It's one of the old shows as well. So yeah, I've put it here. So there you go. All right, the next one, Jonathan Joestar. Oh boy. Yeah, where, okay, obviously he's going to be here. Where should I put him? Hmm. Yeah, over here. This big boy. Yeah, he's very wholesome, you know, like he's a perfect gentleman. And he like his heart, he's very kind. He's very, I feel like, you know, even if his enemy comes to him and is like, oh, like, you know, shows a little bit of goodwill, he'll accept them. And that's the type of character Jonathan is. And that's what happened, you know, like even by the end of it, the whole situation, he accepted him. And yeah, so the, you know, a really wholesome, a really pure-hearted character, Jonathan Joestar. And he's definitely deserving of this position. And yeah, there you go. What else? Nothing else to talk about him. That's just him. Very wholesome. Okay, the next character is, oh, from Code Geass. I've not watched Code Geass, so I will put her over here. Yeah, there's quite a few shows that I've actually not watched, which is kind of outrageous. You know, these shows which are extremely popular and should be watched, I've actually not watched them. Like, yeah, like I'm kind of weird with my anime selections. I don't know why. Like, I know a show, if I start a show, it'll be really good, but then I don't watch it. I don't know why myself. Like, I remember like watching anime for like 3 or 4 what do you call it, 3 or 4 years, and still not haven't watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, even though I knew that it was really good. And then I watched it, and then I was like, why the hell have I not watched this up until this time? That's basically me. There are still a few shows that I've actually really good shows I've not watched. Code Geass, for example, a few others as well. I can't remember properly. Oh, Monster, yeah, another show that I should watch. Uh, few others. Anyways, so yeah, I'll put it over here. Mayuri from Steins Gate. Okay. Okay, Mayuri is another character who kind of, like, you know, matches the way I want this tier to be. I'll put her in over here. Too much wholesomeness. Mayuri is, if you watch Steins Gate, you'll know she's really like, you know, pure-hearted, very wholesome. And yeah, like she's like one thing like I don't usually like in anime, that like there's a few characters which are like, you know, the usual two good characters who are just a copy paste of, you know, like the wholesome type archetype of, like, you know, characters. They're just a copy paste. But like, you know, the characters here, even though they're so wholesome, they have like something unique in them which I really like. For example, like, you know, like Mayuri is another one of the very wholesome characters which every anime at least has. Like, at least one character in every anime has this type of a character, a very wholesome one. But she's different, she's quite different, like, you know, maybe because, like, you know, like I've spent so much time with Steins Gate. Again, I've watched this show, like anime in itself. I've read the visual novel. The visual novel is an experience out of the world, even though the anime did a fantastic job to adapt it. If you read visual novels and you've not read Steins Gate, definitely do that. Just because you've watched the manga, maybe you're like, oh, like, you know, I don't need to read the novel. But if you read visual novels and you've not read Steins Gate novel, just go and read it. It's an experience out of the world. I loved it so much. It's something else completely. Like, the anime, like, is, even though it's really good, visual novel is like leagues above it. It's just that good. So maybe because of that, maybe I've spent so much time with this franchise in itself that I'm so attached to this character. But Mayuri is one of the best characters in that show. Obviously all the characters are really good. Like, you know, Kurisu is also really good, but I cannot put Kurisu here, obviously, because, you know, I wouldn't call her wholesome or pure-hearted, you know, like, but, you know, like she's also a really good character. However, Mayuri fits perfectly in this tier list. She is good to a fault. And yeah, that's Mayuri. And I'm gonna put her here. There you go. So yeah. All right, Nagisa. Put her before Fuko. There you go, Nagisa. Nagisa again from Clannad. Excuse me, from Clannad. And yeah, the main heroine. So Nagisa, obviously being the main heroine, we've spent a lot of time with her. And like I said, the novel went in this direction. Nagisa was the main heroine, and all the other characters were like the the other branching routes. So we had to go to the other branching routes, collect the orbs for obviously the finale where Nagisa. Wait, I guess it's a spoiler, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows about Clannad by this point. Yeah, where that happens, and it's such a well crafted visual novel, and the story in itself is so good. And obviously Nagisa being the main character, we spent the most time with her. She had the maximum amount of character development among all the girls, and that is the reason why it was so much more painful in the second season with what happens. So yeah, she's definitely deserving of this position. Good to a fault, very nice, wholesome, pure-hearted, and yeah, that's Nagisa. So yeah, I'll put her over here. It's crazy how both mother and daughter are here. Oh boy. Okay, Hakase, yes. Ah, I guess she's a kid. Should I put her in the kids category? I think I should, but even though she's a kid, I can't see her as a kid because she's like making like inventions and stuff. Kids don't do that. Which which kid makes inventions like a talking, walking robot, like or like a cat translator? I don't see any kid doing that. It's kind of difficult to see. But yeah, she's definitely a kid. I'll put her here. I'll put her over here. Like I prefer her a little bit more than Ushio. Like boy, Hakase was. I've seen Nichijou very recently, and Hakase was an instant favorite. Like she's very wholesome, really wholesome, and just like a kid. Sometimes she does mischief and all that, but just like a kid, she is. Like she's very impressionable. That's what kids are. But she's a genius. You know, she makes stuff. So yeah, like Hagase deserves is deserving of this position, and she's definitely my one of my very recent shows that I've watched and became my favorite instantly. So yeah, over here, wholesome kids category. Wiz, okay, Wiz. Interesting. I never thought about Wiz, but someone nominated her, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's true. She's kind of like that. So I'm gonna put her over. Where should I put her? Here? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, over there. I think that's okay. There you go. So Wiz is over here. Now Wiz is a character, obviously from Konosuba. Wiz is a character who, even though she has to go through so much unreasonable demands of Aqua, she's still that wholesome. Nice person. And yeah, she actually she actually what's that word called? Tolerates, yeah, tolerates everything about the whole thing, that everything that Aqua does and everything, and she still has a smile in her face, like what a saint. Even though she is an undead. So that's basically Wiz. And yeah, obviously Kazuma gets a lot of help from her, and like one of the sane characters in the show in itself, because Konosuba in itself with its cast of characters is purely full on crazy. So one of the same characters who is kind of normal, and that makes her like a very what can I say, like a very contrasting thing, and like we kind of get to see like what a difference she is from all the other characters. And yeah, in in wholesomeness, she's really out there, and she's deserving of this position. So yeah, like she puts up everything Aqua lets her go through. So okay, Yui from Keon. Now I feel like Keon, every girl from Keon could be over here, but I just can't do that, So Yui was someone who was nominated in this category, so I only included Yui. But since like it's like I'm putting Yui here, just think about all the girls from Keon. All of them are deserving of this list. So I've not included every one of them, but Yui is like the representative of them. So Yui and everyone from Keon. Okay, where? Yeah, I'll. You know what? Yeah, she's here. She's very wholesome, and she's deserving of this position. Keon is a show that I'm currently reacting to, and also another thing, like I said this in the show in itself while reacting. but I have a huge history with Keon. I kind of watched it in my grandma's house when it used to air on television, when it very recently came out. And because there was no internet and I did not have any kind of anime channels in my house, I went to my grandma's house for a few weeks. I used to watch Keon at that moment, kind of. That's why I barely remember anything. And at the same time, but the one thing that I loved about Keon is their music. So that's like my history with Keon. I've never watched it after that, so currently I'm reacting to it. So that's why I know about Dewey and all the other girls from for a long time. I do know about them. So yeah, I feel like the whole cast of Keon is in the very wholesome category. Like, I don't think there's any character who's not wholesome there. Is there? I don't think so. Yeah, every character is wholesome. So there you go. Like, I feel like the whole Keon show in itself is in this place. Like every character is very wholesome. So there you go. So yeah, I feel like I think this is like the Keon was the show that made the genre, not genre, but the the subgenre of cute girls doing cute things this popular. Like Keon was like the the leader of every all of, like, we have a lot of shows like that nowadays. Cute girls doing cute things. That's how they call it. Like random, like cute little girls doing cute things. That's basically what happens in those shows. So Keon was like the first, not first, but the one that made everything, like all animes like this popular. So yeah, Keon is definitely very deserving of this position. Okay, now here is a character that I thought hard about, and I thought, should I include him here? Because he's a questionable character, gone features. But by the end, I realized, like, I guess he does kind of fit this tier category. So I'm gonna put him in the last of this very wholesome, because he, like I said, he is a questionable person. But unusually, he is perfect for this tier. Like, the thing about Gon is, everyone who's watched Hunter x Hunter, I think we talked about this in the previous tier list as well. Gon was also there. Like, um, yeah, like the thing about Gon is he's actually very pure-hearted, but that pure-heartedness actually makes it, what can I say, makes him, like, the whole morality of him is kind of bonkers because of that. He doesn't have a morality scale. He sees everything in a very childlike perspective. Like, something that he's curious about, he he really gets, I don't know, like, attached to it in a weird way, and gets very, obviously he's very curious about it, even if it's something which is not morally correct. Like, that's basically gone. So, like, what this tier list is about is wholesome, pure-hearted characters. You can't put him in the pure-hearted category because his heart is so pure that she doesn't even have the way of judging character. Like, he's basically curious, and that's why I'm saying, like, he's questionable. Like, that's why I kind of thought hard about whether to include him in this or not. And in the end, I decided that, yeah, I guess he kind of fits this tier. He is pure-hearted. His heart, like, his mind and his everything is kind of like an empty slate. He's equally curious about something good and bad. Like, usually what people do is they have like a morality scale in them, and obviously good things, they're curious about it, but bad things, they kind of steer away from it. That is not Gon is not like that, and that makes him more susceptible to sudden outbursts and not understanding, like, what a situation, like, like what type of a situation, like the whole situation with, in the, I think it was the Chimera ants arc, yeah, the whole situation, the kite situation, and him, like having like that little quarrel with Killua. That's like one of the perfect examples of that. Like, he got so attached to Kite, and like, because he was so curious and so, like, got attached to him, that after what happened to him, like, morality and everything went out the window completely. Like, he even, like, kind of had a little fight with Killua because of that as well. So that's why, like, Gon deserves to be in this tier list, but at the same time, he is like an interesting character. Like, that's why Hunter x Hunter is so good. He's a character which I don't know, like, I think like the mangaka is against starting the manga, I don't know whenever, if ever we'll get another anime adaptation or not. If we do get, it'll be really good. I'm very interested in how it's going to go, because I'm really curious to see how Gon is going to grow up. Like he's such a, like, interesting character. And I'm looking forward to how, where his, like, whether he'll actually have a morality scale by the end of it, or how he will grow as a main character. So yeah. Okay, now the next one is Kaname Madoka. Okay, this girl, she is, I'm going to put her over here. Yeah, Madoka is a character from Madoka Magica, who, yeah, she is definitely wholesome, really, but obviously the show in itself is not that wholesome, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Oh boy. So yeah, Madoka Magica. Like, out of all the girls, I'll probably say that Madoka deserves to be in this tier list the most, because all the other characters, even though they're wholesome, they have their own things. While Madoka herself is like a, what can I say, like a clean slate again. Like she's very pure hearted. She, like, by the end we see her sacrifice, and in the end we see everything what that she does. Like, I'm not going to say anything that's going to probably spoil. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have still not watched Madoka Magica. So yeah, for that reason, she's deserving of this, because all the other girls had like their own goal and they did a few things for that, but she herself was like a, like a completely clean slate. And in the end, we see the decision she makes, and it was for the greater good. And yeah, I hope Madoka Magica, I hope it comes back. Like, we do have, what's the name of that show? Ah, forgot. The other Madoka Magica. No, I forgot the freaking name of it. The one was with this that other crew, the other girls, like the one which started as a gacha game. That one that is currently airing. I think we even have like a third season or a movie for it that's going to come, that's going to conclude it. And obviously Madoka and the original crew is also there, which is kind of interesting, but I don't know, like, and I really hope that we get like another conclusion to the whole Madoka Magica franchise, because it did end in but still, like, in the whole Homura situation in the end of the movie, that's, I don't know, like, that was unusual. I feel like there should be a continuation from there. But anyways, yeah, but yeah, Madoka is deserving to be here. All right, Goku. Now, I've not watched Dragon Ball Z, but I do know a few things about Goku. Like, one of my friends is a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, and I think I'm going to put him. Let me put him over. I'm putting him over here. Should I put him here? Yeah, I think I should put him here. Like, I've heard a few things about Goku, and I think, like, yeah, he's deserving of this, like, of this category of tier list. He's deserving of this category, because, like, correct me if I'm wrong. I think there was like a section, like I said, I've not watched Dragon Ball Z. I don't know anything about it. I should have put this in haven't watched category, but I do know a lot about Goku, so I'm going to put him there. So yeah, like, the thing is that I've heard that there was like a part where, um I think, like, there was a section where there was like a attack, an enemy character like had an attack which was going to do something to all the people who have, like, who has, like, what can I say, like, who are not, like, pure hearted like him, like who are not pure hearted, is going to affect them. And since every human has a little bit of, something in them, obviously it's a deadly attack, but I think Goku went through, like, wasn't affected by it, or something like that happened, which kind of, like, everyone came to the conclusion that he's pure hearted completely. There's nothing in his heart, like, that is, like, any type of, like, jealousy, be it anger, be it anything. There's nothing in that, in his heart. So I think that's why he definitely deserves to be in position. Like I said, let me know. I've only heard this from one of my friends. I don't know how much it is correct, or if I properly interpreted it. Maybe I misinterpreted it. So yeah, and I'm like, I've seen a Dragon Ball Z a little bit. The whole Frieza arc I've seen, and not only the Frieza arc, I think I've also watched the whole Boo saga kind of as well. The whole Seiya Man like thing I saw. Like then Boo, like Boo came in, like the whole Videl situation. Then Boo came, and I've seen all of that. And then I also saw the whole Mr. Satan becoming friends with Boo. Yeah, then Boo. I think then what happened then? Oh, then Boo's new form. Yeah, that happened. Then Super Saiyan 3, I think. Yeah, and then the fusion, yeah, Gogeta, all that, Oh, I've also watched the Cell Saga. Yeah, yeah. These are the things I've watched from Dragon Ball Z. I don't remember much. I used to kind of watch it on television. So what I watched was, I think I've watched the ending of the Frieza saga, where like that one where Goku becomes Super Saiyan for the first time. That I've watched. Then the next part I've watched, the whole Trunks comes from the future, cuts Frieza in half. That part. And like the whole, yeah, the Cell saga I've also watched. Yeah, I remember the whole android situations. I've watched that. Then the Cell saga, then what else? The whole, oh, Gohan becoming the savior, you know like in the end. Oh, the Majin Vegeta, was it from there as well? I don't remember. Anyways, and then that happened. Like Gohan becomes the strongest, and then obviously Gohan grows up. Then I think then it's the Buu saga. Yeah, where the Saiyaman comes in, and what else? Then Goku comes from heaven. All that stuff happens. Then Buu comes in. The fusion happens. Gotenks, and I think Gogeta or Vegito. No, was it Gogeta or was it? I think the first was Gogeta. No, or was it Vegito first? The one with the earrings. The earrings was Vegito, I think. Yeah, then was Gogeta, I think. I don't remember much about it. But obviously, then in the end, the Boost transformation, Super Saiyan 3, and that was it. I think that was it. And then in the end, like them defeating Boo, and yeah, that's all. That's all I kind of know. I kind of remember bits and pieces. I've not watched Dragon Ball. Kind of watched Dragon Ball Z, and not watched anything after that. So that's basically my situation with So I do know about Goku. It's not that I completely am oblivious of what type of person he is. I know, but yeah. So there you go. Damn, I spent a lot of time talking about Dragon Balls. Maybe I'll make. I don't know. Like who knows? Maybe in the future I'll actually start reacting to Dragon Ball Z, and from the beginning, which I've not watched. Okay, the next one is Natsu from Fairy Tail, and yeah, I guess Natsu I can put him over. I'll put him here, over this part. No, here, because yeah, he is quite wholesome. He's very pure-hearted. If you've seen Fairy Tail, you'll see. And yeah, like he's like a too good type of a person. Like there's nothing, no type of malice in his heart, and nothing like that. And obviously, he's like a clean slate. But like I guess obviously by the end of it, we see him actually growing, like developing an actual personality and everything. But yeah, so yeah, I think he can be over here. Like as a whole, he's a wholesome character. All right, so there you go. That was it. That was my tier list. Like I said, this tier list was a weird one. It was a weird one to make because I realized, like I said, that I don't know how to judge or rank wholehearted or nice, pure-hearted characters. It's kind of difficult to do that. And yeah, so basically, this tier list, just think of it in a way that, oh, these characters I prefer more. Like I think like Taiga, Alicia, and Mayuri, these three are these three are the characters who I envisioned while making the tier list. I kind of wanted to make the tier list like them, like all the characters like them. But obviously that was not possible because these type of characters, they're very less. You can just handpick them. And another thing I realized is that like most of the slice of life shows that I've watched, every character is a wholesome character. Obviously I cannot include them all, so making this tier list was kind of a mistake, I feel like. But even though I had fun making it, I had fun talking about these characters. Like this is basically me making like the main reason I make the tier list. Like I kind of rank them, and at the same time I kind of talk about them and give my impressions about them. Like that's what I like about making, like that's what I like about in these type of videos. Like I just like to talk about these characters, my impressions on them and all that. So yeah, So there you go. So that's it. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, your impressions, all these characters, what you like about them and all that. Anything else, I'll check them out. Now the next tier list, I'm kind of pausing it a little bit because again I've gotten a little bit busy. Fate Grand Order with a few FGO things. I'm kind of getting a little busy. So I'll kind of pause it and I'll be back again. Like, I'll think about another interesting category of tier, tier list category, and I'll be back soon. Just like always, I'll post it in the community section when I resume this again. Yeah, then I'll make another tier list. So when I get a little bit more free, like I said, I got a little bit busy again. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. So until then, goodbye and have a nice day.